Whereas copulation has become more and more mentionable, death has become more and more unmentionable as a natural process. Geoffrey Gorer wrote this in 1955 in an essay called The Pornography of Death. In 1955, the anthropologist Geoffrey Gorer noticed something strange happening in modern life. It wasn't sex that had become shameful and hidden. That was becoming more open by the year. It was grief. Mourning, once a public, ritualized, communal act, had quietly become something to do alone, quickly, and preferably out of sight. A death was to be processed privately and gotten over efficiently. Public displays of prolonged sorrow had come to seem embarrassing, even faintly obscene, the very word Gorer reached for. Heartbreak inherited the same treatment. A breakup today produces a private playlist, a closed door, a few days of silence, and an unspoken expectation that you'll be presentable again soon. Grief over a lost love, like grief over the dead, was quietly rezoned as a private matter, something to survive alone rather than something a community helps carry. On the Zanzibari coast, heartbreak had and still has a very different public life. It gets sung. Taarab is East Africa's great sung poetry tradition. Swahili lyrics carried on melodies drawn from Arabic maqam, Indian film orchestration, and the coast's own musical inheritance, performed by ensembles built around oud, kanun, violin, and tabla. Its most celebrated early figure was a woman named Siti binti Saad. Born around 1880 near Zanzibar town to a family with roots in slavery and pottery making, she had no obvious path to fame. By the 1920s, she was the most celebrated singer on the coast, and in 1928 she became the first East African artist ever commercially recorded, traveling to Bombay to cut records for HMV that would be sold and sung back home. What made her music matter wasn't just the melody, it was what Taarab did with private feeling. A Taarab performance was and is a public event. Weddings, celebrations, gatherings where a singer performs a lyric about longing, betrayal, or heartbreak, and a room full of people listens, recognizes, and sometimes sings back. A wound that in Gorer's modern West would be nursed behind a closed door is, on the coast, given a melody and an audience. The heartbreak stops being only yours. It becomes something the room holds with you. This is not to say Taarab turned grief into something simple or safe. The ethnomusicologist Kelly Askew, in her study of Swahili music, documents a feature of the tradition called mafumbo, veiled, riddling lyrics that let a singer address a real grievance, a real rival, a real heartbreak, without ever naming names directly. A song of lost love could just as easily be understood by everyone present as a pointed message to a specific unfaithful husband, a specific unkind mother-in-law, sitting right there in the audience. Singing your heartbreak in public didn't only mean being comforted by a community, it also meant being heard by the very people who caused the wound and risking exactly the kind of exposure privacy is supposed to protect you from. That risk is part of what makes Taarab's answer to heartbreak more honest than a simply comforting one. It doesn't promise that public grief is safe. It insists only that grief was never supposed to be carried alone in the first place, that a wound witnessed, even a wound witnessed by the person who caused it, is doing something a wound nursed in private silence cannot do. Gorer's complaint about the modern West wasn't that we grieve, it's that we've made grief invisible and mistaken invisibility for maturity. Taarab suggests the opposite, that a broken heart, sung where others can hear it, is not a failure of dignity. It's the oldest form of company sorrow has.